We're live. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again for another episode of Data Mastery Marketing for Modern Growth. Have some exciting stuff to share, actually, as we are going, deeper and deeper and trying to find more and more ways to help our clients. One of the procedures that we're doing with our data is helping clients enrich their data. So when I say enrich data, that means a client can give us their current leads or their current database or their client list or their current lead list that they might have a name and an email address and a home address and a phone number, information that somebody would have put into the lead form. But what about the rest of the demographic and firmographic information that we could possibly provide? Another 368 data points on top of that basic contact information. Things like income, things like home ownership, things like kids in the household, all extremely valuable information that, almost every client, I don't know why anybody would not want to know that information. And then the beauty of it is you start analyzing your conversions, the people that have already converted. What are those demographics and what are those, what does that audience look like versus somebody who has just filled out a lead form versus people that are in market for your products or services that haven't even clicked yet. Having all this information and being able to analyze it is extremely valuable. Alvin, I'll pull this up on the screen here and let you jump in as well. Let me see here. For example, we're doing this, for a client right now so I'm trying to share my screen here. We're doing this for a client right now that has a high ticket product. It's a $40,000, $50,000 product. They have a 5-stage sales funnel from an initial lead to a booked appointment, to a qualifying, to a financial qualification until they eventually become a client. So now enriching every step of this, enriching data on every step now provides valuable insight so we can find out what's the difference, what's the key factor from the person who just fills out the lead form to the person who's actually paying money and starting a franchise and moving forward as a client, and how do we connect that gap between all these different stages?
Can you zoom in? Yeah, zoom in.
I was going to say, let me zoom here. There we go. So this is, out of the 368 data points that we can provide, this is a summary of like the top, I think 5 or 10. It's just the basic. It's not, the rest of the data points we can provide, but this is probably, the most used demographic data. So for example, for this person, when we enrich the data, we were able to determine things like 62% of the individuals are married. Most of them are males. I don't think he realized that 90% of his site traffic or 90% of his potential clients are males. Where, if you're looking at how do I design my landing pages, how do I create my copy, who am I targeting, knowing that 90% of your clicks are males versus females is going to make a big difference. Some other things here, what states they came from. Are there children in the household? A lot of products nowadays, if somebody is a targeting parent, so knowing if you have children in the household or not is very huge. Generations, education. Obviously, in this case, almost all of his potential clients have college degrees, and then we come down here, household income, and then ethnicities as well. So we get a very good description of the gentleman. These people are men, college educated, between 45 and 55. They have, I guess not technically always have 1 to 2 children, and you can even see here, and Alvin, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you start even looking at a map like this, right? When you're deciding, hey, who do I target? Do I just run national ads, or do we exclude certain states, or invest more money in certain states? Knowing that 12% of your clients are coming from Florida versus 0% coming from North Dakota or whatever states are up here at the top, makes a big difference when you're funneling an ad spend and trying to allocate budgets, correct?
Yeah, so just look at the map, like the heat map on the map right there. Typically, when you're running Facebook ads, AI is gonna focus on the top 4 states that are heavily populated: California, Texas, Florida, and New York. Right. Usually, if those 4 states, if you were to look at your metrics, majority of your ad spend, leads, conversion, traffic will be going to those 4 states. This right here, since we actually uploaded or enriched a past list of clients or purchasers or leads, it's telling us, hey, majority of your clients are coming from those top 3 states right here. So one strategy with just this particular information, I would recommend to the client, you need to separate, you need to create a campaign just dedicated for those top 4 states, give that a large budget, and then duplicate that campaign and target the rest of the states and exclude those 4 states. And typically, what we've seen with our clients is they get more leads and probably cheaper cost per leads or cheaper cost per purchase, because now the AI is forced to reset and learn to show your ads to new eyes. So that way, hey, more of America are seeing your offer or your brand or your services. This is how we're able to scale it out, just using this piece of data right here.
Exactly. So this is all like these are clients lists that they have sent
Mm-hmm.
us. So that's one particular use case where that's one of the first things we do when we start working with the client is, hey, give us your database of actual paying clients and give us your database of leads. We're going to enrich it and we're going to analyze it and see, is there a disconnect there? Is there similarities? What can we learn from that? So when we're building out our in-market list and when we're giving our advice in terms of auditing their campaigns and things like that, knowing that ICP, both of the lead and then that the converting client, makes a big difference and is extremely valuable. So that's with the current client list. But then we can also do things like our in-market data, which I don't want to explain in-market data in detail. You can go back and listen to another episode. But basically, our in-market data is our PPC click-based data audiences that have recently searched for a product or service, and we stream that data into the ad platforms. But what if before we stream the data into the ad platforms, we could enrich an in-market list where we could clean it up and maybe exclude lower income or exclude non-homeowners, whatever the based off the client's wants or needs, or better yet, we could give a very good breakdown or demographic breakdown of that in-market audience. So a client could come to us and say, hey, our target audience is, we're selling XYZ e-com product and we think our target audience is women. And then we identify the top keywords for their product or service. We build out our in-market list. We generate all this high intent audience, and then we enrich it. It could come to find out that 70% of the people searching for this product or service could be male versus female, but they think everybody in market for their product is female. Again, all of this information about the audience, the people searching for your product or services, becomes insanely valuable when you're obviously looking at building out a ad campaign and landing pages that will get the highest conversion rates. Obviously, if you want the highest conversion rates based off click and everything, you want to be talking and directing your ads and offers specific to your target audience. I'm sure everybody has heard the term, if you try to talk to everybody, nobody's going to listen. And that's what this data does, is it tells you exactly who to talk to, who's in market for your product or service. Here's who you need to talk to and address with your ads and campaigns. And then we can go from there.
Yeah. Again, since this is a past client list, we have to go by by the data. So we use the term white box testing and black box testing, where black box testing is like, you don't know what's inside. You don't know what you're testing. You're kind of like testing in the dark with your eyes closed. Well, with white box testing, we have data here that's transparent to you. It's visible, where we've identified male and married locations and income, all that stuff, where in Google Ads, right, you have that type of demographic targeting where you could target male household income and gender, right? Well, you could do bid adjustments on there. Well, if I know my ICP, my ideal customer profile are male, I could put 120% increase on the bids, where Google's going to outbid your other competitors 20% more to show your ads to more of the males or the married or the gender or the age range, right? So just knowing that piece of data where it's visible, I can, as a media buyer, I can make a recommendation to our clients where, hey, put 10, 20, 30% more towards male. Well, why? Because the data is telling us these are your purchasers that are male, right?
Yeah, no, that's huge. So then So we have current client data list use case. We have in-market enrichment for people that don't know about your client, but people that are actively searching based off PPC keywords and site history. And then the third step, or the third tool, or the third use case, I should say, for this is enriching the people that are already visiting your site, our pixel data. So our identity resolution pixel is just one small piece of our data solutions package. And then what we do is we identify individuals hitting the site. Now we can enrich that data, and that is insanely valuable feedback. I mean, we just had one client that this client literally jumped on board. He put it this way, maybe I shouldn't say this, but they literally canceled with us 72 hours into signing up with us because they were driving such a high amount of traffic. We installed the pixel, we enriched their data of all their current leads. And let me reframe this. These guys were running a lot of Facebook ads, and they had 2 weeks or 3 weeks left to a big live event, and they were kind of in a panic because their Facebook ads weren't performing. We took all of their data, it was about 25,000 leads, we enriched it, and with the income and home ownership and the rest of these demographics that we're able to put on there, they quickly realized that out of that 25,000 people, they had the completely wrong audience. There was only about 1,000 to 1,500 who even made over $100,000 a year that could qualify for the $20,000 event, and so on and so forth. So they immediately pivoted, canceled with us after a few days after we enriched the data. And mind you, we're going to work with them again on another event, but this was just such a too close of a time frame for us to get our data and to get it to work. But the point is this gentleman and his event was able to make a very, very educated and direct decision rather than letting Facebook and the ads run and spend, $10,000 a day or whatever they were dropping on Facebook ads. They were able to pivot to a direct call where they were able to take our enriched data, scrape off the best ones, and start calling those people directly. And I don't think you were on the call earlier, Alvin, but the gentleman was saying just from calling, they're getting like 150 registers like yesterday alone. And a lot of it had to do with taking our enriched data, identifying the best leads out of the bunch, and then just focusing on those. So again, there's so many use cases, but in this case, the gentleman wouldn't have known until we enriched it. And I guess I know we're talking about pixel enrichment, so I went a little bit off there. But at the same time, as individuals are clicking to the website, we enrich the data. And now you get very valuable insight on, are the right people clicking the site? We had that B2B client that was praising his SEO company, claiming 20,000 clicks per month. We start identifying the pixels, and he realizes that less than 10% are his ideal client. You don't know that until you can't tell that. You don't get to see any of that information from Google's pixel or Facebook's pixel or anybody else until you actually can visibly see that data and it's visible to you, like Alvin's saying, a white box audience where you can see what's going on. You have no idea if you're driving the right traffic or not. You could be still getting decent conversions, but if 50% of your traffic's the wrong traffic, imagine what you could do if 75 to 80 or 90% of your traffic was the right traffic. Your conversions are obviously going to go up with the intent base of the traffic. So that's what we're really trying to eliminate, is all that wasted ad spend, wasted traffic, and wasted clicks from the wrong people.
Right. Another thing, I like to get a little bit technical since I am a tech guy. What kind of data are you inputting? Well, we could just use an email or just a phone number by itself. Either of those two, those are like the bare minimum, and we're able to try to match the data to get it enriched. But if we're able to add the address, the city, the zip code, the state, and the phone number, now we're able to try to match that at the individual level instead of the household level. So typically when you do have a lead, a patient or a client, right, or purchasers, if you do have the phone number in here and we're able to match that phone number, typically that's a mobile phone, right? So we're able to match that at the individual level instead of like at a household level, which is even better.
Yeah, all kinds of fun stuff we can do with the data, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Well, I think we'll wrap it up here. We're approaching 15 minutes on this episode. We don't want to bore you guys too much with a bunch of data stuff, but we just really, the whole goal of these episodes is to really open people's eyes, see the possibilities, because everybody's data solution is completely customized and different. We do not offer a one-stop shop like, hey, here's what we offer. Hopefully you fit into this box. If not, you're not the right client for us. We obviously have ideal clients, but for the most part, we can customize a very detailed data solution for our clients. So they're not getting more data that they don't need. They're getting enough data, and really, making sure that we can come in, implement our solutions, and drive an ROI or improve their ROI, as quickly as possible. All right, cool. Any questions? You know where to find us, dataaccelerator.ai. Don't hesitate to book a discovery call with us, 20, 30 minutes with myself. We can quickly discover whether or not we could be a good fit and create a win-win situation with your business and our data solutions. And I really appreciate your time, and can't wait to connect with you soon. Take care, everyone.
See ya.